Well, good afternoon, Chief Brown.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Good. I can hear you.
Awesome. I'm Cadet Coleman. I'm a third-year public relations student here at Florida A&M. First off, I just want to say the respect is there, sir. The respect is there. I've read your profile. I have an idea of how awesome you are and some of the things, the accomplishments that you've done. This interview, I want the rest of ROTC to know what you've done and to kind of tap in on that fountain of knowledge that you have.
I appreciate that. I'm humbled by the opportunity. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't have expected to have something like this happen where I could talk about myself and then hopefully inspire someone else to follow either in this career path or at least join the Army and pursue their own path and aspirations wearing this uniform that I've been wearing for a couple of years. So thanks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you have the time, I will let you just read your bio. That's okay with you.
You're going to read it or I need to read it to you?
No, I'll read it. I'll read it.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, knock yourself out. Hopefully it's an easy read.
It is. A lot of accomplishments to get by, but we're going to get through it. All right. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Jerimiah L. Brown II, enlisted in the United States Army in June 1993 as a medical specialist. Upon completion of basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and advanced individual training at Fort Sam Houston, Texas, Chief Warrant Officer 5 Brown was assigned to the headquarters and Headquarters Battery, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Field Artillery Regiment in Gießen, Germany. In 1998, Chief Warrant Officer 5 Brown attended Special Forces Assessment and Selection, the Basic Airborne Course in 1999, and subsequently the Special Forces Qualification Course in 2000. Upon graduation, he was assigned to 1st Battalion, 10th Special Forces Group Airborne in Böblingen, Germany, where he served as a Special Forces Communication Sergeant on an operational detachment Alpha. Since graduating the Special Forces Warrant Officer Technical and Tactical Certification course in 2006, he has served as an Assistant Detachment Commander, Company Operation Warrant Force Integration Staff Officer, and Battalion Operations Warrant at both Fort Carson, Colorado, and Stuttgart, Germany. He currently serves as the 10th Special Forces Group Airborne Group Operations Warrant Officer. During his time in service, Chief Warrant Officer 5 Brown has participated in operational deployments to Bosnia, the Baltic States, Czech Republic, Greece, Malawi, Poland, and West Africa, as well as combat deployments to Afghanistan and Iraq. His military education includes all levels of Warrant Officer Professional Military Education, Special Forces Qualification Course, Ranger Course, Jump Master Course, Military Freefall, Jump Start Course, Special Forces Advanced Reconnaissance, Target Analysis and Exploitation Techniques Course, Special Forces Sniper Course, and How the Army Runs course. His qualifications include the Combat Infantryman Badge, Parachutist Badge, Military Freefall Master Parachutist Badge, Special Forces Tab, and Ranger Tab. His awards and decoration include the Bronze Star Medal with 3 oak leaf clusters, the Meritorious Service Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, the Joint Service Commendation Medal with 1 oak leaf cluster, and the Army Commendation Medal with 3 oak leaf clusters. In 2021, Chief Warrant Officer Bob Brown earned his Bachelor of Science degree in military leadership from Excelsior College. He is married to the former Miss Cicely Dietergen of Wiesbaden, Germany.
Close enough. Wiesbaden. I won't hold it against you.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Wiesbaden, Germany.
Okay.
All good.
But the accomplishments are there. I would really like to know what made you do this. So my first question for you, could you please tell me the best pearl of wisdom you'll give to current cadets?
Best pearl of wisdom, I think, man, that's a lot to unpack. I think I would start with understand that your impact and your reach as a cadet and as a future officer is far more than what you could ever imagine. Approach this job or any job with humility first, and I think everything else will fall into place. Obviously, you're gonna do your best, right? You're gonna give, excuse me, 110% at everything that you do, and just understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint, but you will sprint from time to time, if that makes sense.
It does. What has your experience been working with commissioned officers?
So I've had the opportunity to work with commissioned officers that have received their commission through a couple of different means. So ROTC, some others have gone to military institutions such as West Point, the Citadel, even VMI, the Virginia Military Institute. I'll say hands down, the best officers, again, were the ones that understood that they can't do it by themselves. All right. You need a strong team of trusted people around you, or someone that can at least mentor you and help you along the way. Because if you try to do it alone, you will surely fail. And the Army is comprised of professional military personnel that are keen at helping each other and to getting after a problem as a team. I've seen officers that have tried to go it alone and have met either mediocre success or fell short because they didn't know how to either delegate or just ask a question. There's nothing wrong with not knowing everything, but being humble enough and willing enough to ask. That would be the biggest thing, I think, is realizing that you don't know it all.
And not knowing it all, could you speak on maybe the importance of education in regards to leadership?
So education in regards to leadership, the thing I'll say about that is you should be a lifelong learner, right? So everything that you might have learned thus far in your life, in your career, constantly needs maintenance or upkeep, no different than if you were going to go and exercise to learn how to be a better runner or better at a sport, or even exercise your muscles so that they can perform optimally when they have to for lifting weights or whatever sporting event or thing that you have to do, or your ACFT, or your brain's the same way, right? It has to have constant stimulus and new things to think about and to challenge yourself. And I would offer that it's very important that you take that time to not only read material and continue to study about this profession, but allow yourself time to think about it and analyze what you read so that you can internalize that information and call on it later when you might need it. Because you're going to read a bunch of books, you're going to get a lot of different influences and input from different sources, but oftentimes you cannot take time to synthesize it or to think about it because you don't take time to reflect. So I would encourage any cadet to, again, continue to read and learn about your profession. you can never learn enough. And if you're lucky, you learn something new every day, and continue to look for those opportunities to learn something new about yourself and about this profession.
So we sent you questions, and one of your responses was to examine each opportunity to speak in open forum through 3 filters.
Yes.
Now, I'm very interested in that.
So I'll explain it to you. A wise man once told me, or one of my mentors said, hey, you might have the answer. You might be sitting in a conference room, you might be sitting in a meeting or on a VTC with someone, and the answer is obvious and you might have it, but ask yourself first before you blurt it out. Is it something that I should say? Or is it something that maybe the commander or my boss should say? Do I tee that up for him, or do I offer that advice or that insight to him in a separate forum, so that the next time we convene or have that meeting, he is the one that presents or conveys that message or gives that information to his subordinates? Part 2 of that is, does it need to be said right now? Again, you might have the answer sitting right there in the conference room, but maybe it's not the right time for it. Maybe the audience isn't the intended recipients of that information. So although you might have it, it might be better off that you hold on to it, or again, wait until a better time to present that information. And then finally, does it need to be said by me right now? And then lastly, does it need to be said? Again, you could have the answer, but maybe you are preventing someone else from discovering the answer on their own if you just give it to them. So I might know the answer to the test, but instead of me just telling you, I might allow you to go out and try to do some discovery learning of your own, and then come back and see if the answer you come up with is the one that I already knew. So then we both grow. I know it, you found it out, and then we collaborate and say, okay, yep, we both came to the same conclusion. Make sense?
Makes sense. Makes sense. You also mentioned learning to be an emotionally intelligent leader.
Okay, so an emotionally intelligent leader. Oftentimes, if the boss or the commander walks into a room, his demeanor or his face even, or just that nonverbal communication that a person might have could be a little off-putting, right? If the guy walks in, he already looks agitated, or the leader says, you know, I'm already having a bad day. It's a Monday. I don't like Mondays. And I didn't have coffee and I got a flat tire. And he walks in and he's carrying all that emotional baggage with him. That staff or that group of people that he interacts with is going to inherently, they're going to take that on, because again, we want to ensure the success of our team, of our leaders, of our bosses or commanders. So if the commander's upset, then I'm upset, because everything can't be going right for me if he's having a bad day. So the emotional intelligent leader would say, I'm having a bad day. I'm not going to allow that to impact my interaction with my staff, my decision-making ability, or allow how I feel about a certain thing or guidance to be projected in a way that is negative or not well received by my subordinates. I might not like everything that I was told to do or that I know needs to be done, but I've got to support it, because again, that same oath that you will swear and the same army that I join and that I love requests or requires a certain level of devotion from us. And so I might not agree with it wholeheartedly, and I might go home and have a different opinion about it altogether. I might not even agree with my boss's approach to the problem. But once he says, hey, we're going left, regardless if I know it's time to go right, guess where I'm going? I'm going to the left. So again, the emotionally intelligent leader, I guess, summarizes the guy who says, although I might feel a certain way about this, or I might be having a bad day, or I might not have had the best cup of coffee or I got a flat tire. I can't carry that into the workplace with me, because then my emotions or my outward appearance or my approach to whatever I'm doing that day might impact those around me. And then in turn, they have a bad day and they go into this spiral of, emotions that are negative and they're not productive. I guess that's what I'm saying. And there's all kinds of books and information about that subject out there. Pick one up, flip through it. There's all kinds of approaches to doing this business. But again, I'm a glass half full guy, right? I'm an optimist by nature. There's nothing I can't do. And I think that attitude and my approach to doing Army business comes across when I interact with people. I mean, immediately you saw me, I'm smiling, you're smiling. Imagine if I had this long face, like I didn't want to be here to do this interview, then it would have influenced how you felt about doing the interview.
Right. I would have been a little more intimidated. I would have fought through it. Would have been a little quicker.
Exactly. And smiling is contagious.
It is.
You automatically do it because I do it.
See, that's a gem.
That's it.
So Chief Warrant Officer 5, Special Forces. I'm interested in your story. Could you please tell me your career progression? Like, how did you get here? What were you intentional about? What habits did you have to build? Please let me know.
What got me here? I had an uncle join the Army. I was born in Savannah, Georgia. I had an uncle growing up. He was in the 82nd Airborne. He jumped into Panama. This was late 80s. I remember coming home and seeing him. And he once told me, he says, hey, the Army is a place where you can really be anything that you want to be. The sky is the limit if you are willing to do the work, right? Pretty simple advice if you think about it. If you're willing to work hard, you can really do whatever you want. And it was, I think in his day, and we might be returning to this same motto, be all that you can be. He really believed that. Again, small town Georgia, he grew up playing football, didn't go to college, joined the Army. And so for him, watching him progress throughout the ranks and become a first sergeant and then eventually retire, I said, okay, I think that's something I can do. However, I wanted to do something more challenging, but I didn't know what it was. Airborne, okay, that was a thing. Go to Ranger School, okay, that was a thing because he was a Ranger. But this Special Forces thing, right? I didn't see anyone that looked like me, and I'm not talking about my height or my haircut, that looked like me that was doing this job, right? As a matter of fact, the guy that I went to selection with for SF, I didn't know what he was talking about. When he first mentioned to me, he said, hey man, I'm going to selection. I said, hey, what selection for what? You're already in the Army. What more do you need to be selected for? Like, you got a job, they gave you a uniform, like you're in the Army. What more is there? He said, no, it's this other thing. And they don't take everybody, and only like 3 out of 100 people make it. And if you get in, if you can pass their selection, and if you can get picked to go to the Q course and learn an MOS, it's something that you'll do your whole career, but you'll be working with like the most professional and the most dedicated group of individuals the Army has to offer. And it's only for a select few people, and it's the Army's elite. There's another thing out there that's even above Special Forces, but this is what you can aspire to and you can achieve if you want to. So I said, okay, that sounds good, but I still don't know what I'm being selected for. Can you explain it to me? And he couldn't explain it to me. So I said, okay, let me find out for myself. So I went. I was a medic, as you read in my bio. I'd never jumped out of a plane. I'd never done anything somewhat dangerous or adventurous in my mind. And here I am in selection with all of these accomplished infantrymen, guys that were already airborne qualified, guys that were Ranger qualified, guys that I looked up to, right? I'm just a medic, so I don't know anything about land nav or any of these infantry skills. I'm at a loss here. I'm really learning as I go. What I noticed at the end of selection was, out of all those guys that I looked to, that I thought were shoo-ins for selection because they had all the requisite skills, they came with all of this knowledge about, you know, operating in the woods or being an infantryman already, that I thought, there's no way they're gonna pick me because I don't bring anything to the table other than I won't quit, right?
Wow.
I won't let them not select me because I'm gonna give it my all, whatever the distance was we needed to run, or whatever the distance we needed to ruck march, whatever the task, I was gonna do my absolute best at it, and then let them choose me or not choose me. So at the end of selection, what they do is they separate you into two different groups. You don't know what group you're in. There's either the group that got picked or the group that didn't. And so we're looking around, and I remember standing there, and in the group of people to my left was the majority of the guys that I thought were, you know, hey man, they're walk-ons. They're just gonna get in because look at them. They're all 6 feet tall. They're all these, you know, muscular guys. They're all accomplished in their own MOSs already. No way they pick me. Well, come to find out, the group I was standing in, the rest of us, were the ones they picked. Go figure. And I think what they picked us for was our willingness to try and to give it our all. We didn't think that we were automatically going to get picked. We had nothing to lose because we didn't take it for granted that we had all of those skill sets coming to selection. Like all those guys that were good at all that stuff, yeah, they did great at all of the events, but they weren't humble and they weren't hungry. They had already assumed that they made it simply because of who they were and where they came from. Whereas the rest of us, we're still scratching away, right? We're trying to claw our way into this thing because it's the elite. It's this group of special guys and people that get to do this special mission, and we want in, and they picked us. So that's how I ended up here. I got selected to be a medic, went to the qualification course. Once there, I got an opportunity to go to Ranger School as an E6. Also a rare thing to do because you most of the time you go when you're younger, PFC or specialist, when your knees and your back and everything hasn't had all that wear and tear yet. So I did get a chance to do that. Obviously, I went to airborne school right afterwards. And the rest of it has simply been following my uncle's initial guidance, which was, if you work hard and if you're willing to put in the time and effort, you can really achieve whatever it is that you set your mind to. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. If it was easy, everyone would do it and it wouldn't mean as much, right? So yeah, it stuck with me all these years. And when I see him to this day, I tell him thanks for that advice that in his mind might have been one of his throwaway, you know, golden nuggets, like, hey, just go in there and just work hard and don't quit. But that hit home with me. It was that simple, and it was enough.
Wow. That's amazing. That's really all the questions I have for you. You've given a lot of information in this short amount of time, and I'm so appreciative of it. I'm pretty sure everyone who watches this video will appreciate the information as well.
I hope so. And if you have any follow-on questions, or if this generates any other curiosity from whoever sees it or whoever listens to me talk, by all means, reach out. You got my contact info, send me a note. I'll come back up and talk to you again. And if you come up with another question yourself that maybe didn't come to light now and you think about it tonight or this afternoon, just send me a note. I'll answer you. I'll do my best.
Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Well, hope you have a wonderful day.
Same to you.
And thank you.
Hey, thanks for the call. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it, really. I'm humbled. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you today.
It seems like humility is what got you here. Humility and hard work.
Yeah, I think so. If you wanted to put it into those two bends, yeah, I think so. Humility, hard work, and just, again, understanding that none of this comes easy, right? And it wouldn't be as meaningful to me if it did come easy. And I also realized that no different than my uncle inspired me in some small way in his mind. He doesn't even remember the conversation, to be honest with you. I hope that my story, or just talking to you or anyone, will help. And it will inspire somebody else to pursue, if not this career, some other career, but at the end of the day, that you aspire to do something, right? Whatever it might be. And then whatever that thing is, you give it your all and you do the necessary hard work to reach whatever goal that you set for yourself. It doesn't even have to be in this uniform, in life, period.